Hi guys, it's Ray. We are starting a new cup today. We are going to do a full wrap, and then we are going to do a drip edge because this vinyl just screams for a drip edge. So we're going to use the Self-Care is Not Selfish decal. And I'm just going to trim this down now quick, just so it's ready to go. So I'm going to fully wrap the cup in this vinyl from the June sub box. I'm not quite ready to start on fall yet. I'm going to stick to the colorful ones first. So I'm going to cut this down to just over 7 3/4 to start. I'm going to cut this edge off first. Then I'm going to cut it to the between 7 3/4 and 8. I love this drippy look. And then a little over 9 1/4 for my around. Because it's like 9.3 around, generally speaking, for a 20-ounce skinny. And then I'm going to cut an anchor. That's a pretty messy anchor, but hopefully it'll be okay. The straighter edge you can make your anchor, the better off you are, but we'll make it work. My spray paint is still a little bit tacky, but it'll be alright. It's very muggy outside. So I'm going to peel my anchor, tack down my anchor. And just roll the vinyl on, pushing with the squeegee. The backing will just roll right off once you get going. So that's going to be the start of our tumbler. We are going to get this over, get some epoxy on it. We are going to put a little bit of shimmer in this coat, just because I want to. So we're going to do a thin coat with shimmer. We're going to get our decal on. We're going to do our drip, and then we'll go back to more epoxy. So I will meet you at the turner. Okay, so I'm finally going to try and work on this one. I haven't been in this room to work in like 2 weeks, so don't remember what the plan with this was, but I'm going to put a little bit of Touch of Violet in this coat. This is Diamond Dust from It's Pretty Personal, and I mean just a tiny bit, just to give it a little shimmer. I was on vacation for like 10 days out of that 2 weeks, and right before vacation I was sick, so, and this week's just been a rough week so far. So That brings me to about 2 weeks before I've touched a cup. Or since I've touched a cup, not before. Alright, so we're just gonna get this on, smooth it out, and let it dry. Okay, so we are going to get this finished up. Here's how we're looking. There's our back seam. We're going to put that to the back. And we're going to put this decal on about midway up the cup because we're going to do the drip. And I am going to do a little bit of a hinge. Where is my... So that is pretty well lined up with the bottom of the vinyl. Okay, so we can see all of our text, and I'm going to go get some epoxy mixed up real quick. Okay, so in this epoxy, I'm going to put a couple drops of, what color is this? Blue Violet alcohol ink. Just 2. And some lavender mica powder. This is just from one of those big packs from Amazon. And we're going to mix that up. And I am going to go right over the decal. If you're not comfortable going right over your decal, do a layer of epoxy in between. I'm just going to try and be careful with my drips. And this is a fast set, so it is going to thicken up pretty quickly. It's actually CC DIY Turbo, so it's going to thicken up extremely quick. I'm just going to, because this is turbo, every 15 to 20 seconds, run a band along the edge of this cup to see when it starts to slow drip. Because this will seize up and cure incredibly fast. Alright, this is starting to get thick, so I'm going to move quickly now. I'm just going to start applying globs, technical term, around the tumbler. If some of them go inside, it's fine. And I probably mixed way too much epoxy. And that is running up on my S fairly quickly. Did just get a stringer where I didn't really want it, but it'll be okay. Okay, so this is already getting too firm to work with. You really can't turn your back on the turbo for even a minute. But this is how we're looking. See, that's that little stringy bit. I'm not going to worry about it. It's fine. So I got a couple longer drips, a couple short drips, a couple fatter drips. Pretty much exactly what I wanted. I actually dropped a string down the seam, like almost perfectly. But I'm going to let this sit and dry for probably about 20 minutes, and then we'll come in and put a top coat on it. And we are going to go right over the drips. It's not going to hurt them. I'm doing a fairly light coat because you don't want to fill in around the drips. You do want them to be 3D. So and you could, if you wanted to pinstripe the bottom, do that. I don't want to. I am running very, very low on epoxy, so I'm actually like having some problems finishing anything around here. But if I'd had more epoxy, I probably would have done, and I could have done it with the same amount of epoxy and more time. But one of my thoughts with this had been to do like some purple drips, some blue drips, some pink drips. I think on this vinyl that would look really cool too. But I ended up just going with a solid purple to do it in one step. But if somebody does one with some pink, some blue, and some purple, I want to see it. But this vinyl just screams for a wrap and a drip. Or even just a half and a drip or whatever. So smooth it out as good as you can around the drips. And remember, we did put sparkle in the layer prior, so it does have a little bit of shimmer and shine. I'm gonna go ahead and torch it. I didn't worry about cleaning up the little extra drips here and there. I figured on this particular tumbler, it wasn't terribly concerning. I kind of like the little random bits like down the seam. Actually, it's not even the seam. The seam's right there with the long drip on it. Alright, so this will probably get one more thin coat after this one, but it'll just be a standard clear coat, so that'll be nothing to write home about. But there's our drips. Just absolutely perfect with this vinyl, I think anyways. And there's our Self-Care is Not Selfish decal from Butterfly Lane Designs. That is a VC decal, so you can see it over the prints. If you wanted, you could have that printed on a UV DTF and it would make it a touch more vibrant, but either one will work. Just don't try and put a actual clear decal over the printed vinyl. So that is it for this one. I hope you liked it, and I will see you next time.